So, Jose, welcome to part 2 of being in the hot seat. How's the weather like now on the other side?
Oh, it's good. It's cool.
Is it?
Yeah, I think I'm getting used to it.
After part 1, you think you can go for part 2?
Let's see how the spirit moves, but yeah.
Okay, I know we were talking a lot about like upbringing, childhood, a little bit about your DJing and what you did with UCT and all of that stuff. But I think now I want our listeners to get a feel from how did the DJ navigate UCT from an academic point of view? What did you study? Why did you decide on what you studied? And in terms of you saying that you went to UCT because it wasn't like you had perspective actually to want to be there. It was just like you knew a degree in South Africa matters. But in reality, I don't think some people would look at university like that. They actually go there with promise. So for you, why did you study what you studied? And what did you think about your career at that point in time?
So as mentioned, I went to UCT as an escape, right? It was escape from Joburg because Joburg for me was very traumatic. Got to UCT, was a registered BCom accounting student with a tutuka bursary. And again, Ivy, the lady I mentioned who called me at night, was the one who got me the tutuka bursary.
Sure.
Right, so she was kind of paving the way for me, and also she knew my story, so she was just adding that light and promise to say you can have a good future. Right, and looking at my marks, your accounting is in the 90s, your maths is in the 90s. Funny story is people thought I was like 100% student, and I never got 100%
90,
in my
100.
high school.
Say what's up,
The
man.
first time I got my 100% was at UCT.
Sure.
Right, and for me, it humbled me because then I'm like, yo, when I wanted it hard, I couldn't get it, but it taught me something. Just discipline, the work ethic. And when I wasn't even expecting it, boom, you're getting hundreds now at UCT. So speaking of UCT, yes, it was an escape. I wasn't really there for a certain career and whatnot. I haven't really found what career I wanted to pursue and whatnot. But in the back of my mind was, I said I wanted to do actuarial sciences. She said I couldn't do it. Therefore, I'm going to try and find a way to do it, right? And then I can't mention names, but there was this lady who said, in order for you to qualify for accounting 2, you need a 60% in accounting. And 50% means you passed, you can continue, but you can't continue in the CA stream. So I thought, okay, let me get a 54%. And then I got that, right? But I knew that... Wait, let me finish, right? And I knew that in actuarial sciences, you need 70% in maths and stats to qualify. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to get the 70 and in maths and stats, but accounting, because I don't need it, I'm just going to get the bare minimum so that I don't fail. But then I get disqualified to being on the bursary.
I see.
And it was well calculated, but also a 50% means you've got a supplementary exam. So I remember I went to write the supplementary exam, and then I got what? A 56. And then tutorial pastor said, hey, we can't find you because you're not continuing. I'm like, cool. And then the same year after writing my sub exam, I take accounting again just to show these people that I didn't fail it because I didn't know it. And then I became number 1 in the class because now I was doing it for fun. To then doing reporting 2 and reporting 3, and it was just for fun and games and laughs. Right. So for me, studied quantitative finance, the degree in actuarial sciences. And I stumbled across it, right? I fell in love with Corporate Finance 1, which is an introduction to finance. And I wanted something that was mathematical because that's where I derive my fun and joy. UCT statistics, mathematical statistics was fun as well. And I thought, okay, cool, finances, stats and maths, how can I bring the two together? And UCT offered this quantitative finance degree. And I went for it.
So if it was purely just for fun, what were you going to do with it at the end? Because people have fun and then it's done, I
hadn't thought that far. So for me, it was just proving a point that I deserve to be at UCT. I'm going to study what I want and I'm going to get it.
So after proving your point?
That was it. Up until then, third year, I found my purpose. I'm like, you know what? I'm in third year now. There's people who are coming in from Yokailichas, from Durban. They speak like me. They don't, or rather they talk, they don't speak. They determine, it's not determine, or whatever it is, right? And they're struggling with maths. And I look at maths, I'm like, maths is so simple, right? When I got to UCT during O week is that first week where people are just having parties and whatnot. I was studying second term work already because term one I was done. And Yongama had paved the way for me, teaching me second term maths, right, in my O week of first year. And I thought to myself, why can't I do the same for someone else? Started putting together a group of people. And I taught them maths, and they'd be like, yo, dude, you teach so well, it's better than classes. I remember there was a point where at UCT, stats 1, people wouldn't go to lectures because they said lectures were useless. And they'd just come to me to teach them. And then that kind of rekindled this desire to want to teach, to want to share knowledge with everyone. And that's my company, Ulwazi Olubanzi Academy, right? And there's substance in the name, Ulwazi Olubanzi. People who know Zulu and Xhosa, they're like, that name is deep, right? So, yeah, and then I just focused on that. I started teaching more. I remember I was doing Samsung promotions. So I was never in class. I was always everywhere and anywhere where I could make money, I could have fun. But what I valued the most about going to UCT was the fact that I got to have good connections, right? Stellenbosch people, most of them, they know me. Those are great connections to have. Innovation City in Cape Town, where entrepreneurs gather, they know me. That's a great connect for me to have. And I wouldn't have that if I wasn't at UCT. Therefore, that's the only thing that I value. But teaching and whatnot, nah.
Let me represent my non-Xhosa, non-Zulu speaking people.
Sure.
Ulwazi Olubanzi. Go deeper.
It's going to be difficult to explain it unless people come and experience it.
Sure.
But for me, it's more of, I wanted to teach, but the knowledge that I wanted to give was beyond classroom. Therefore, Ulwazi, it's knowledge, right? But Olubanzi, it's like, for me, how I thought about it, it's something that's vast and big that you can't really say it's just a classroom thing or it's this, right? People at Ulwazi, even people that work for me, they know that if I leave this week, in 2 weeks' time, I come back, things are different. Because there's just a lot of knowledge that's pushing. I tell my tutors sometimes to say, you need to be the center of knowledge. A child, when they ask you this question, if you don't know, yes, own it, you don't know it. But when you go back to the child, you give them more, right? So more than just a classroom, we have a mentorship program. We teach you life skills and whatnot. On top of that, we've got other things that I can't disclose as yet that actually prepare a person, let's say a university. Most universities, again, I say this humbly, I don't think they prepare people for life, right? I find people who are graduated, they are CAs, and you're just a robot. You don't even know how to use Excel, which is sad, right? That's where the Ulwazi Tech School comes in, where you learn basic Excel. You learn how to do your taxes, your financial literacies, and whatnot. So that's where the Olubanzi comes from, to say, I don't just want it to be they're just a tutoring company, right? Now with the analytics, we're doing other things that people couldn't even think about that can be done in the education space. So yeah, like I said, you need to experience it to understand what exactly the name means.
Yeah, I think for me, that's why I valued it so much even when you came to me, right? Because I think if you think about things holistically, I also identified that even after I left varsity, there's certain things that I didn't know about life that I feel like could have been covered in university. You know, why am I learning about money when I start earning a salary? Because then I don't know what to do with it. And for you, did you know what you were doing is the journey of entrepreneurship? Because I think when you decided to take that step back and say, you know what, I'm going to start teaching people, you had to have some level of business acumen behind it, right? Of course, you had the skill, you had the maths mentality, but it seems like the essence of entrepreneurship were already there. Did you learn because of that idea, or did you know that you were like doing entrepreneurship?
Actually, no, right? Ulwazi for the longest of times was free. So I've been at Ulwazi for 13 years now, but almost for a decade it was free. Ulwazi became a registered company, I think, in 2021. And that was because of a lesson I learned in Oxford University, where they give you $5 and say, go build a company out of this. So they call it the $5 challenge, right? And as we were engaging on that, literally, that was my business idea. Give me the $5, I'm going to tutor people who are struggling with something, right?
Sure.
Even the previous guest, Yongama, when he was here, we ended up tutoring people at vets that are doing MBA. I tutor master students. So for me, it was okay, cool. I've got $5. I need to build something out of it. And that way, it kind of shaped, oh, I can make money out of teaching. I can make money out of this. And then discerning it to God, to be like, God, is it good for me to expect something out of teaching?
Sure.
And then I needed to learn to be like, okay, cool. You need to be very specific. If this is an NPO, or you're doing it for the benefit of the public, or you want to build something out of it. And I'm like, if I do it for free, how am I going to then build the schools that I dreamt about when I was in grade 2? And then it became a thing of, okay, cool, let's register it, let's make it a company. But because that thing of giving was still within me, then I also registered a PBO, which is the Ulwazi Foundation, where people that seen videos online where we buy food and groceries for people and whatnot. So yeah, I didn't really have much business knowledge. I would coin my finance knowledge and CFO skills to Robbie Taylor, a very seasoned CFO from Cape Town. He taught me a great deal, right? How to automate management accounts, how to do this and all that to him. And that's how I learned how to be a businessman from him. When I left my first job, MasterCard, I needed to fend for myself. And how did I do that? Innovation City, and also opening my own consulting firm where I consulted to startups. And then I get to learn from different people and different executives and books, and being curious and asking the right questions, right? And also when I was now building Ulwazi to be a company, I remember making the first 100,000. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, cool, then how do I spend it? Right, because as a DJ, when I first made my 200,000, started changing how I dressed. People saw me in Calvin Klein T-shirts, right? I needed to belong to a certain status. I thought that was cool. People can be moving go airport for a person to pass by, and then I pass by a red badge,
Non-label.
So I needed then to be disciplined in business. And again, my father, the God that I serve, I used to call myself a CEO of Ulwazi. I was like, okay, cool. If you own Ulwazi, then you're going to have to sustain it.
Sure.
And then I thought back, okay, cool. I think it was around last year when I surrendered Ulwazi to him, and then I became a steward of Ulwazi. So I make decisions with him. Then he taught me other entrepreneurial qualities that I have, how to lead with my heart rather than chasing the numbers and all that. So yeah, I think I hope I answer your question.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much how I learned. I stumbled across certain things, having good people and mentors on the way, and also understanding that what you're trying to build, why are you building it, right? I think the other time was pitching, and then we had a chat with Vusi. He said there's 3 types of entrepreneurs, right? It's a lifestyle entrepreneur, where you want to improve your lifestyle. Traumatic entrepreneur, where your past traumas are pushing you to want to do something.
Sure.
And as you get money, then you get lost in it. But doing entrepreneur as a passion, where you want to build a lifestyle that's comfortable, and you're not doing it for the money or anything, but you do it because you love it. I think for me, it went from that traumatic childhood experience where I didn't have food, I didn't have money, to now, let's build something where I just enjoy doing it, right? I can do Ulwazi for free for the rest of my life. I'm happy with it. And I know that I'll never, ever, ever be hungry for the rest of my life, or lack food or something like that. So yeah.
Sure. You segueing into something that for me, even entering and embracing the journey of entrepreneurship, I struggle with the most. But what would you say are the top skills of an entrepreneur? You mentioned some, like obviously you tethered to the Lord, you make decisions with Him. You were lucky enough to find a mentor at that time to teach you things. And we spoke about mentorship through books in my episode, for example. But in your journey specifically, lived experience, tangible, what kind of skills do you think are required?
Sure, there's a lot, right? But for me, that still work for me today. It's curiosity, right? In a shape or form, just getting rid of laziness. There's a lot of people that are lazy that would say, oh, I've got a task, it's due in 30 days, therefore look at it at day 25, right? You don't know whether you'll be alive in day 25 or not.
Sure.
For me, it's that thing of, okay, cool, there's tasks in front of me. Let me try the ones that I can do. Even if I fail, then I know I failed and I still have 29 more days to learn rather than leaving it to the end. Being tenacious about anything and everything that you do, and discipline. A lot of people, I don't know how they define discipline and whatnot, but for me, it's just getting things done, right? Whether you're right or wrong, just get it done. And when you're wrong, you'll find out quicker rather than leaving it to the end. Being connected to the right people. There are people who are making a living just connecting people, right? So making sure you're in a good circle of people. Right now, I think if I were to be honest, my friends, people I call friends, they are less than 5, right? And then there's people I look up to, the likes of Kacheni, the likes of my brother Steve-O, in like a male figure, right? Kacheni teaches me a few things. We're like, hey, dude, stop complaining, do 1, 2, 3. I remember there was this other time we were working on a Friday, trying to solve a problem for me, right? And it's 4:30 p.m. I'm like, okay, deuces, I'm going to knock off. He's like, no, we're not knocking off until we finish this thing. It's a problem. I want to have a good weekend. And the only way I'm going to have a good weekend is if we finish this. I'm like, on a Friday, everyone is gone. What are you talking about, Chief? Right? And then in the next hour or so, we finished it. We got it. And then it clicked to me to be like, actually, this is why other people fail, right? You're going to live it Saturday, Sunday, dust comes into your mind. You're not fresh on Monday. You forgot what you were even trying to solve.
Sure.
And then that's it, right? Sure. Or your list keeps piling up. Another thing, I don't keep a to-do list. I never have a to-do list. If we have a meeting, we talk, plan of action, we execute. Tomorrow morning when we have another meeting, like, dude, have you done this? We're like, oh, I thought it was due in 2 weeks' time. Like, yeah, it is due in 2 weeks' time.
I feel like you're coming to me
But
on the podcast.
no. I'm just answering on some of the skills,
Yes, I hear you.
right, that I think, and these are for me, right? And it took discipline for the past 5-10 years for me to build these things, right? Even at UCT, as much as I didn't need to go to class, in first week, all week, I would write all the marks that I want and paste them on the wall, right? Knowing that I'm not going to class. In my honors year, it was crazy. I wanted an average of 70%, and I wrote down all the courses, my 4th year courses, that I want 70, this one 75, this, and all those marks I got. Why? Because I could see clearly where I was going, right? Each and every day when I say I'm studying this course, Introduction to Banking, I want a 70. I got it. My thesis was based on the banking or capital structure of the banking of South Africa, right? I got the 70%. Why? Because I knew exactly where I was going. I understood what I needed to do on a daily basis. If your mark is 70%, you do the 70% that's going to get you there. So, yeah.
Sure. Mindset, the power of words. Also, choosing the top 5 friends. How do you choose friends?
It's crazy. So I do this thing every year without fail. At the end of the year, I download my contacts. Now,
Like your contacts on your phone?
yeah,
Okay.
they're less than 30 now, right?
Yo.
I'm like, who are the people that I spoke to in the past week? You get a tick.
Sure.
Who are the people that when I speak to, I'm happy and they bring me peace? You get a tick. Who are the people that I haven't spoken to this year, but I know if I were to call, they'll be there for me, right? Again, I might be reaching, but I don't speak to Kacheni every day. But if I were to call Kacheni for something, he'd probably show up if he has time. Therefore, that person, you remove them off the list. They don't need to be ticked or anything. And then after that, Kacheni is going into 2025 with me.
Sure.
Everyone with 3 ticks is going into 2025 with me. There's certain family members, I love them, but they're not on my contact list because I'm not going anywhere with them. Some people might think it's ruthless, and I'm fine with that. Again, I don't have WhatsApp, Therefore, I've limited access to who can contact me, because people like, I can't buy airtime to call you. I've got WhatsApp data. And then cool, that's for you, right? So yeah, that's how I choose my people. And also, there's people that see me, they just see a walking ATM, right? So I play away from those people. Not because I don't want to give or anything, but just because I have something doesn't mean that each and every time I'm gonna have to be the one giving and giving. I get tired as well. I'm a person, right? At least come to me, be like, oh, I've got a solution for 1, 2, 3, rather than keep on asking and asking and asking. Because what God blessed me with, there's a purpose for it. There's a bigger purpose above me living comfortably, traveling the world and all that. So yeah, that's how I kind of limit my people, or people who have access to me.
No, I love that, because recently I posted something about, if you don't know how to pray, you can't be my friend. And I realized it's because I was also trying to come up with the criteria, because I kind of knew that the people that you spend your time with, the people that you associate with, you kind of take from them, you know. I haven't been this extreme of downloading a contact list, but you're very intentional with everything that you do. And I want to know, is the intentionality because of the goals that you have, or is this intentionality as a result of your learnings as and when you are building yourself up?
Look, there's this saying that life is too short, but other people say, yeah, but life is too long when you live it right.
Sure.
Right? I know I only have one life, therefore I need to be intentional about anything and everything. Right? I've got nieces and nephews looking up to me. I've got people that God placed on my path for them to learn from me. Right? By now, someone needs to be learning from you. And I can't mess up. I can't disappoint those people. I need to be intentional about anything and everything. Again, I think yesterday at the dinner, I mentioned this to say, if I was to die right now, would I be happy? And again, for me, that's living with intention, that's living with purpose, right? There's people right now, they are so drunk. They ran away from home since the morning. You don't know whether your kids have eaten. You don't know whether your wife is happy or not. You're just going on about life, doing things that you probably going to regret. They're breadcrumbs, right? And for me, it's like, I don't want all of that. Yes, to other people, my life is boring. To other people, my life, it's too serious and whatnot. And that's what girls say about me. That's why they can't date me. You're too serious. You're too this and that and that. Cool. And then December, they come. Hey, dude, I'm struggling. Do you want to take me out for Christmas? No. Because we had the same 365 days. When I was putting in the work, I was too boring for you. But now it's the end of the year. I've got $100. You've got zero. Now you want to take from me. Why do you want to reap where you didn't sow? Right? So my intentionality is, at the end of the day, I've got me to blame. If I sleep hungry, it should be because it's me. So I'm taking accountability of my own life in a way.
Say now there's someone that's listening to this and the message is overwhelming,
Sure.
know, and I think it's like a mirror that you have to look dead on and say, you just said, I have one life. I need to be intentional. I can't play around with it. There's people looking up to me. And I think there's a spirit of fear behind that as well.
Sure.
That comes from people. How do you speak back to that spirit of fear?
So my spirit of fear is going back to Katlehong. If I failed, I went back to Katlehong.
Sure.
Would I want to live there? Simple answer is no. I don't want to live in my township. If you went into my township, you'd see exactly why I don't want to live there, right? On a Saturday, 8 a.m., people are already drunk. They don't know their names.
Sure.
Kids that grow up in that township, that's all they know. Kids in grade 1, grade 2, they swear like their fathers. It's not the life that I want. It's not the life that I want for my kids. Therefore, I need to be intentional. I need to look into the mirror. And also, South Africa, we have this blame mentality. Oh, this person did this. Oh, this person did that. That's fine. Blame. But also, if you remember, now that you love the Bible, in the Garden of Eden, right? Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent. And then God focused on the serpent. The person that you blame is the person that you give the most power. Right? So the more I play myself, the more I question myself, the more I get answers, the more I get revelations, and then I can live the life that I want.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about family, because now you are pushing everything. You are an intentional man. You are building Ulwazi, and you are stewarding a heavy responsibility. Do you think there's room for family and love and a sense of ease, right? Because one thing that I found of you when I met you and when we were speaking is you had so much depth. And some people don't see that there's a funny person behind it, or there's a normal person behind it. I want to say normal because I'm trying to contextualize it for people that might be overwhelmed by how you live. Do you relax? Do you take time to do fun things?
I do relax, right? I do take time. Maybe let's go through a small journey. Yes, there is time for family, and I think I can't remember who I was speaking to saying I'm at peace, and I think that peace now translates into bringing peace into my biological family, and me taking them on a journey that God showed me so that they can have peace, right? I think I also quoted a scripture to say, me, a leader, I've got authority, or I need to be the watchman of their souls. Because then when God comes back, he's going to ask me, if you led these people the right way, did you rebuke the certain things that they do? And if you didn't, then their blood will be asked from my hands. But if you did and they ignored, then God will ask for their blood on their hands, right?
Sure.
So for me, it's that thing of, yes, there is space for family. Right now, I want to build my own family, right? I want to get married. I want my own kids. I want to build. I mean, God has blessed me in 2024 with a big house. Right, I live comfortably. Sometimes I sleep in this room. Next week I'll sleep in that room. Next week I sleep in that room. That just shows the abundance of the things that I have. Worldly things, but also they came through the grace of God. So I'm preparing. I'm in a season, right? And I think I'm comfortable speaking to say I had a person that I wanted to live my life with, and we broke up. I'm still looking for an answer as to why. The only recollection I have of how everything happened was Friday morning, woke up, went to work. That was it.
Sure.
I've had to heal. I've had to learn to move on. And now, yes, I've got capacity to love. I've got capacity to want to build with the person. I think my past childhood traumas, again, they are awakened, where everyone just leaves. Everyone doesn't think I'm good enough.
Sure.
So someone said my name, Khosi, means king, right? And ironically, I'm from a royal family, which I won't go deep into. But again, I'm a king. Not just the name, but literally, I'm a king. Therefore, I need a queen. And then I asked this person as she was revealing these things to me, what is a queen? And then she's like, dude, you're doing so many things. Look at what you're trying to build for the kingdom, your company, right? Look at the name and the depth of your company. And this person is Indian, so she had to go research what is Ulwazi Olubanzi. Right? And she's a prayerful person. So how her and I connected was through prayer, right? So yeah, long way of saying things, but yes, I am ready. I want family. I do relax. My relaxation always involves traveling. I'm at the point in my life, the comfortability where I can take 6 international trips without even worrying about the cost, right? I think this year my 6th one was supposed to be Zanzibar in December. Not sure whether or not I'm going to do it, but I've traveled 5 different countries this year. I'm that comfortable. So that's why I relax. I play golf. I read books. Sometimes, yes, I read technical books, but I also read your psychology books, because now I'm trying to understand more the psychology of people, why people react a certain way, right? So yeah.
We just created a Tinder profile for you.
A Tinder profile. Hey man, let's do it. Let's do it.
But that's so interesting, because I think people also shy away from having big careers or having a love for a project. And I feel like Ulwazi, in the context of what people will see it as, it's a project. And they think that if I pursue this, it means I don't have capacity for family. It means I don't have capacity for friends. And I think in the context of how we grew up, like growing up in the township, friends play such a pivotal role, family plays such a pivotal role, to a point where, yes, we might be learning lessons from a Western culture or how things have been done to achieve success, but we think that we're losing our identity a little bit. So if you could just share some of the sacrifices that you've experienced, maybe, in pursuit of entrepreneurship, because you mentioned that even access to you is a hindrance, you know. What are other sacrifices that people can expect? Because you've been talking about rewards without realizing it. And I feel like people that are really listening will see the rewards of travel, financial security, stability, abundance that comes, but the cost of it is also your access to self, that being meticulous all the time. But what other things have you had to give up on?
Everything, right? You need to give up on everything. You need to be willing to die, right? You can't move a dead man. You can't take away from a dead man, right? And I don't mean that in the context of you are inside a tomb and all that. I just mean you need to give up yourself, this self-conceived idea of who you are, right? Some egos there and there. I still have some of those, but I was willing to give up myself. I was willing to die in order to be the person that I am. Do I think I'm humbled? Maybe 90% of it, right? I'm still learning. I still have some blind spots. But yeah, it's everything, right? The cockiness, I've got so many cars, I've got so many houses, you can't lead with those things. You say, I hate leading with my rewards or accolades or whatever it is, because I realize those mean nothing. When God comes and fetches me, He's not going to say, okay, cool, you've got 4 cars, we're going to take the 4 cars to heaven. You've got 100 houses, we're going to take all of them to thing. You've got 3 farms, let's take them to heaven. It's nothing like that, right? It's this thing of, if Elon Musk and myself were to be in a car accident and die, 2 men died. Yes, they may say Elon Musk and whoever died, but that's it. We both dead, right? God's not going to say, oh, you had 1 billion, therefore you're getting 3/4 of heaven. That's not going to work. So that's what I mean by giving up everything, right? And by giving up everything or sacrificing yourself, I don't mean, okay, treat yourself as a slave or anything like that. I just mean being so self-aware that you don't take yourself too seriously. You are still human. And before you were an entrepreneur, you were your mother's child, right? You were someone's sister, you were someone's cousin and whatnot. All of those experiences live in them. I missed out on those because of how I grew up. When I was in varsity, I still didn't have those. And then now having to transition between Joburg and Cape Town and trying to reach out to certain people and learning about how they live, I get fascinated, right? And another thing that's teaching me that it's traveling. Again, it's selfish because traveling, you need a certain level of wealth. But going to Zambia, for example, I stayed in Zambia, the capital, but I would go to the townships just to see how they lived. And that humbled me. Sure. It showed me how privileged I was. And therefore, again, I remembered what I need to give up so that I can be the same person. When I found people in Zambia eating with their hands and they're eating a certain type of food, I wouldn't judge, just eat with them. And for them, it's like, no, let's get you a spoon, this and this. I'm like, nah, relax, gents, right? This is how, I hope I answer your question. But for me, it's literally just giving up yourself.
Surrender. That's what it is. Being yielded.
Sure.
And I think if you have high responsibility, I think many will share that sentiment that you just need to die to self daily.
Sure.
And you need to constantly be mindful of the sacrifice, but I think there's reward in that, right? And we've mentioned all the rewards. I think there was somebody that likes asking this question, and it's coming to my mind because I like getting asked this question quite a lot, and it intimidates me, it bores me. They're like, where do you see yourself in 5 years or 10 years? And I got to sit into one of a judging process, and one of the younger guys said, I don't know where I'm going to be in 10 years, but I like where it's going. And I love that so much because some people don't realize that even if you have like such a big vision or you can't articulate your vision, there's a certain flow that we're all seeking. And we know that we're going somewhere, and the destination, obviously, we're all going to pass away and we're all going to be taken up, but we are still looking forward to something. What are you looking forward to?
I don't know. I was talking at the World Expo in Dubai this other time, the previous World Expo, and they asked me the same question, right? What is the one thing that I look forward to in life? And bear in mind, I'm sitting with billionaires and whatnot, and I'm just barely making it. I'm probably worth R1 million. So that's nothing to them, right? And I just said the father and the husband I'm going to be. So I'm looking forward more into life and how I'm going to live rather than the big things and whatnot. So I don't know as well in terms of profession and Ulwazi and whatnot. But I'm excited because I know the one that is leading me and the one that I'm following will lead it in the manner that he wants it to be. And it's something that he's going to be glorified for it.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I also don't know. But the one thing that I do know is I'm going to be someone's husband and I'm going to have a lot of kids and I'm just going to be happy because I still believe even today that not that my happiness lies in them, but me having that person and I can showcase the true love that God has for our generation, right? And hopefully leading my kids in the right ways that I wish I had parents leading me in that way. That's something I look forward to.
Sure. And you have a Tinder profile that we just created. So,
Yep.
I mean, ladies, if you're in the market, the man's available. So
They won't find me because I won't be there.
they'll find you somewhere at your expos, in your Dubai expo. So I'm going to do the thing that you do at the end of your podcast.
Sure.
Is ask a question with the last guests, what they had in mind.
Sure.
I'm going to choose one. I don't know. I hope I'm choosing the right one because I just opened the book to whatever. So, okay, no, I got this one. This one. But I feel like this is so easy for you, but go deeper, man of God. This is from someone. If money was never a concern or a hindrance to your dreams, what would you pursue?
I don't think money is a concern right now, so I'd still be doing Ulwazi.
Yeah.
Right, I think God has blessed me with wisdom to see beyond the numbers. Right, I think I was speaking to a friend of mine, and we're talking about when does this thing end, and he was saying, I'm not gonna end it. He can end it, right? His goal was to make sure that his family is debt free, and this year he cleared all his family's debt. Right? I said, for me, when I get $50 million, I'm gonna stop. And $50 million, I don't know where the number came from. That's around R1 billion. I'm gonna stop. And he looked at me dead in the eyes, like, you're lying. You just love what you do, right? And you're not gonna stop. So money right now is not an object. Yes, I've got bonds, I've got cars that I need to pay off and all that. Let's say those things get paid tomorrow, I'll still pretty much do Ulwazi. Because that's the one thing that I find fulfillment in. But equally, the work that I do in the data and analytics space, it's so rewarding and fulfilling because you get to solve problems quicker. You got to tell stories quicker than anyone else can. You get to find things, and if you're curious enough, you can use data to answer even questions that people haven't thought of, right? So I'd still pretty much do the same things that I'm doing now.
Okay.
I think so.
One bonus question. This is
Sure.
coming from me because it just sparked up.
Yeah.
Word of advice for young people, South Africa, 2024, going into 2025.
I don't know how I would advise a young person because, again, people will always hammer you, right? It will be like, oh, he's speaking like this because he has money. Oh, he's speaking like this because he's eating. Oh, he's speaking like this because he's got privilege and whatnot, right? A friend of mine was looking at this house saying it's a beautiful house, right? And it's not real for a person who's 28 years old to own such a big house. So for me, I would say, instead of rather the word of advice, I would take it back and say, I think we spoke about this earlier, where people need to find a place to rest so that they can fall into sleep, wake up and eat, right? So let's unpack that. Especially, I think this is more a message for grade 12s because they're going to start comparing themselves now. Some are going to start taking their lives because they didn't make it and whatnot and whatnot. Just switch off a bit, right? Think about the life that you want, not the life that your mother wants, not the life that the community has set a standard for. Think about the life that you want. So when you lay down, meaning switching off so that you can rest and fall into your sleep, so that you can actually get into your inner self and understand who you are, just focus on you. Forget everyone else, forget the noise. If you are hungry, okay, you don't have my number, but I'd say call me so that I can get you the food you need in order for you to rest. And then when you've gotten that rest, the angel of the Lord said, wake up and eat. Meaning, wake up, be alert of your surroundings, what's happening around you. Eat means just refuel, right? Build muscle so that you can be able to do anything and everything that you want. So I would say, take a pause. If it means getting off Facebook, just come to Facebook to watch this podcast. After that, switch off, right? Rest. Don't compare yourself with other people. And then wake up. Not just literally wake up, but be alert of your surroundings. Look at the things that are happening around you. Look at the things that you don't like, that you want changed. Because that might be your calling, to change something that makes you uncomfortable, right? And then just eat. Beef up, because you want to need that energy. The journey, your race is still longer. And also understanding that your life and your purpose, it's not only for you, but it's connected to someone else. Right, the woman with the issue of blood in the Bible. When her issue started, someone was born elsewhere. And her healing was connected to that person's father getting, or rather building faith in knowing that everything is possible through Christ. Right? So her healing was a purpose for this father's faith. And this father's faith was then purposeful for the child being resurrected. Because people came and said to Jesus, the child is already dead. And then when Jesus got there, he took out everyone who was unfaithful or who didn't have faith, so that people with faith can remain. Therefore, believe in yourself. Believe you can do it. Whatever it is that you're working with, that thing that you trust and believe in, keep it dear to your heart. Make sure you don't lose that, because it brings a lot of who you are. It talks a lot about the kind of person and your belief system and whatnot. Whatever it is that you believe in, I'm not saying believe in God. I'm just saying whatever it is that you believe in.
I'm saying read your Bible.
Okay. Hold it dear. Make sure no one can shake that. And just be purposeful.
Sure. I love everything. I love that. All I'm hearing is read your Bible. That's all I'm hearing. But Josie, thank you for granting me the driver's seat. I hope I did justice. Your listeners will probably be like, this girl be talking about God all the time. But yeah.
Thank you so much for
Josie
honoring
Mahange,
me.
CEO of Ulwazi
Don't do that. Don't do that.